Play. Hello, and welcome, guys. Welcome, Vanch. It's Tom Grant here. I have not seen you in a while, Vanch. How are things? Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you well, Tom.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah.
How have things been?
It's been good. It's been good. Been
Yeah.
been hectic, obviously, with all the tennis going on and things
Well,
at home.
I
But
was actually going to ask you to update me. So I've literally been living under a rock, and when I say that, I mean Ibiza rock. So I've been in Ibiza for a week. So I've literally not been keeping in the loop at all with what is going on in and around the tennis world. So I was hoping, Vanch, while we wait for this one, Jessica Pegula and Maria Sakkari, I hope you could just update me what's been happening in the last week of the WTA and the ATP tours.
sure. So on the WTA, we have a 250 in Prague, and that's happening on hard courts.
Yeah.
And that actually, we were supposed to have two semifinals for today, but it got rained off. So that's tomorrow. It's not that great of a field, if I'm being frank.
What's been happening with Washington, though? I mean, I've seen that there's been a lot of weather problems. So I'm just, what's been happening in and around North America?
Yeah, and then obviously we have Kitchbull, where we had the final today with
I saw that. Yeah.
with team getting all the way to the final, and eventually Sebastian Baez was just the stronger of the two in the final because physically team had nothing left after his 3.5 hour marathon against Gera, where he saved 5 match points. That was an incredible match.
And then was there something about team going through the week? And again, I've missed all this, but I take it he had quite a few 3-setters, was it?
He did, yes. He had a couple of tie breaks against Magnus, and then he came back from a set down in his next 3 matches, and the most impressive one being against Gera in the semis.
Yeah.
That's his biggest win, I think, in a long time, and first time back in the final in almost 3 years. So that was special. And then in DC we have these two awesome women's semis, Sakkari and Pegula.
Yeah.
I'm very on the fence about who I think is actually going to win this. It's almost a little coin flip, I think, in my opinion, based on the way the two have been playing this tournament and also how they match up against each other. But then the other semi is Samsonova against Goff, and then on the men's side, which is later today in the evening, we have Fritz. We have Fritz against Fritz yesterday. Actually, he played a couple of matches against Andy Murray.
Yeah, and I saw that. I saw he was playing Andy. I'd just literally landed back in Scotland, and then I saw he was playing again through the night, my time. So, is that to do with all the weather problems that the States have been having there?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday. So initially we were supposed to have all the round of 16 finish on Thursday itself, but like 5 of the matches got carried over to Friday, and obviously Fritz and Murray, they had a really physical 3-hour battle, and Fritz coming through there, and then he was playing. Then Jordan Thompson, he beat Eubanks 2-2, which was shocking.
Okay.
Yeah, then we had Thompson and Fritz just took care of business, handily, actually very impressively, 6-3, 6-3, and now he takes on Talon Griekspoor, and that'll be, I think, in about 5 hours from now.
Right. And Dan Evans, he managed to secure a victory over Tiafoe. What happened there? Don't think anybody expected that.
That was one of the best performances from Dan Evans in his whole career, and I don't say that lightly because he's obviously beaten Djokovic in the past in Monte Carlo, and he's had 4 or 5 other top 10 wins, but this one really stood out to me because he's playing Tiafoe at home in the home crowd. Tiafoe was playing well. It was a pretty decent, high quality match, and Evans really, really used his all court game and his court craft, his slice backhand, his really extraordinary feel at the net, and he was combining it with laser like forehands and coming up with these awesome put away volleys and big moments, serving tremendously. It was a really all round complete performance from Dan Evans from start to finish. And when he's firing on all cylinders like that, he's actually quite fun to watch.
Yeah.
So that was and then now he takes on Dimitrov, and they have kind of similar styles in terms of how they play their game with the all court kind of aggression. And so I think that'll be interesting because Dimitrov hasn't played in 2 days because of the rain, and he was one of the fortunate few because he got a walkover against Ugo Humbert. Humbert unfortunately had to pull out with injury in the quarters. So yeah, the second semi-final at night will be. Yeah.
So what's the weather? Is the weather looking more settled in DC for this match coming up? Then I'm still trying to pull the stream up and where I am.
Yeah, I think they're on the court, maybe warming up, and I'm on a commercial break. I hope my stream is not too far behind or ahead of yours, but I think we can work that out.
Yeah. Well, if you take us, obviously just keep getting at what's happening for now for anyone watching. I am trying to find it on my Prime, and for some reason it's not allowing me to get it on here. So give me 1 second. Apologies for this. I'm still trying to play a bit of catch up with myself. But talk to me then about, in terms of you said that you thought this Pegula Sakkari match will be, it's very hard to call now. I've got to be honest, Vaj. I thought, you would probably be leaning towards Pegula just because, I read somewhere today that this is his first ever semi-final on a hard court, which somewhat surprised me. So just what is it that you think, that makes this a lot closer than maybe some people think?
Well, I think Sakkari, she played a couple of matches yesterday, and she has been going a little bit under the radar. I think in the last few weeks, she hasn't had an amazing year. I mean, she made semifinals of Madrid, semifinals of Indian Wells, and those are the two kind of standout results. She's coming off of a disappointing Wimbledon loss after winning the first set 6-love against Kostyuk. And I thought she looked really, really sharp against Fernandez and Keys yesterday. She had to play both matches. And honestly, what stood out is she's serving so much better than she was earlier in the year. And I think she's getting a lot of free points, which is helping her. She's extremely physical, as we know, in terms of she can play hours and hours. And I don't think physicality is going to be any kind of a problem, even though she played 2 matches yesterday.
Right.
I thought she was using touch really well in certain moments, and just looked a lot freer and happier to me than I have seen in a long time, and just almost like the weight of expectations is off a little bit. And I don't think many people are expecting her to win the semifinal. I do think it's kind of a 55-45 in favor of Pegula, especially Pegula herself yesterday came through a really gritty 3-setter against Elina Svitolina. That was a really high quality match, which she eked out 6-4 in the third. Some really phenomenal backhands, particularly down the line and in certain big moments to get Svitolina on the run and kind of challenge her defense. And that was impressive because Svitolina, as we know, is a kind of revitalized version of herself and has a new kind of outlook on her career, and she's just playing a lot more aggressive under Raymond Slaughter. Yeah. So I think this match, X's and O's, it's going to be all about how well for Pegula, obviously, she loves to play down the middle. She loves to, she plays with tremendous depth, and she's able to kind of challenge anyone's consistency because of how hard and flat and low her shots stay. So that allows her to be offensive when the time presents itself. I wonder if I wonder how well she protects her second serve, because I think Sakkari is doing a good job this week of like really attacking second serve returns and making people really pay. I mean, I was looking at some stats, and against Fernandez, she was able to win so many of her points on return, and then same against Keys as well. And she really rushed Keys right off the first shot. So that's something that I think Sakkari is going to be willing to do, particularly off of the Pegula second serve. But then I'm also just curious about, like, from the baseline, I do feel like when Sakkari gets tight and we start to see some of those nerves that we've seen in previous semifinals, that's where I think Pegula is just more comfortable in that spot mentally. And I think she's a little bit more composed, a little bit less highly strung for sure. But at the same time, Sakkari can really swing a lot freer as well. And I'm trying to think sort of other kind of baseline dynamics that I've seen. They had a great match in 2021 in Miami, and it just seems like every single time it's a role reversal. Like they've played 6 times since 2019, and neither player has won 2 in a row. It's always 1-1, 2-2, 3. It's 3-3 since the start of 2019, so I think. Yeah, I mean, the last time these two played was in Doha, and it was really, really windy conditions, I remember, and it was a good 2 setters.
It was about 2 hours, that match, or something like that, wasn't it? It's a good match that I can remember it, I think.
Yeah. And then eventually, I think Pegula was just a little too solid in the wind, because, I do actually think in the backhand wing, Sakkari doesn't have a ton of margin when she hits her ground stroke, because, I mean, although Pegula hits the ball pretty flat, she hits it, she times it really, really well. She has really excellent footwork. Sakkari, sometimes the footwork on the backhand can be she can be a little bit late, or she can get kind of tight on that wing, and she struggles to kind of create pace with it. She doesn't have a great slice, and I think Pegula has really improved her slice. So that could be something to watch out for as well. Particularly also Pegula looking to change directions down the line, open up the court that way. She did that so well against Svitolina. So pretty curious to see how it's going to go. I think like in terms of rally temperament and maybe baseline floor, I definitely
Yeah.
back Pegula, and I think it's no surprise that she's a slight favorite. But something about Sakkari's level this week has just made me stand up a little bit and take note. And I just feel like maybe this could be her moment to
Yeah.
get a
Well, I'm sure
semi-final
it
win.
wouldn't be the biggest shock. I mean, obviously, Pegula, past champion here as well, number one seed coming into this. I just thought, I was doing a wee bit of quick research just to try and, catch myself up a little bit. And I just thought the interesting stat was that Sakkari, this was her first hardcourt semi-final, and I just found that hard to get my head around. But I think, if you're telling me that so far this week she has been playing well, especially, 2 matches yesterday, she'll be growing in confidence with every match. And I don't think it'll be the biggest shock in the world. Like you say, Pegula won the last one. They usually swap victories after every match. I think since 2019, they basically they swap winners. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, with Pegula winning it last time at Doha, I'll go with you then, and I'll say that we're going to be looking at a Sakkari win.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one to call, and like I think neither outcome would really surprise me. But I feel like with these two, like they just find a way to, like one up each other every time. So I just think that's what makes this kind of interesting. But
Good. So I'm just I'm just to try to get my stream up. What's happening at the moment in terms of are the players warming up? Are they about to start? Sorry, for some reason my Prime stream, which is the one that I usually use, isn't allowing me to watch live. It's just adding me to the watch list. So I'm going to try and do it a different way.
Right now they're just warming up. I mean,
I've not missed anything yet.
Yeah. It hasn't actually started yet, but should be ready in a couple of minutes.
Okay. And the second semi, then, who do you know? Are you hanging about for the second semi-final, or who's doing that with either yourself or anyone? Like, what's your thoughts on the second semi-final then?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be calling it, but
No.
But it's Samsonova against Goff. And Samsonova, obviously, she won DC last year. Last year was a 250.
Yeah.
And she always seems to play really well in the North American hardcourt swing. And her forehand is one of the best shots in women's tennis. And she's really struggled for the better part of 5 or 6 months. Just hasn't been keeping the ball in play very long, and her confidence has just been shattered, I think, since she lost that 500 final in Abu Dhabi against Bencic. It was a really tight match where she had 3 or 4 set points, and I think you can kind of trace it back to that match, where since that match, I don't feel like her confidence and her level on the stroke production, particularly off the forehand, has just been hit or miss. But I feel like this week her shots are really firing and the serve is clicking, and when the serve and forehand are clicking in that kind of a combination, and she seems to be healthier as well, moving better, and she obviously has a lot of incentive to do well this week with the title defense. So she's been playing really well. I've been impressed with her. She played a really good match yesterday against Kostyuk, won that 4-2, and actually Kostyuk came out the better player for the first 5 or 6 games in that one. I managed to catch a little bit of it, but she takes on Coco Gauff, and Gauff, I thought yesterday against Bencic, it was one of the best matches I've ever seen her play. I actually tweeted out, like, is this the best win that I've seen from Coco Gauff like ever? And I know she's had a lot, maybe 8 top 10 wins. She beat Badosa when she was number 4. She's beaten Sabalenka a couple of times, albeit before 2023. But I just think the level that she showed yesterday in terms of the authoritativeness and the way she was protecting her forehand as well. She's working with Per Reba and Brad Gilbert now, actually, as a consultant. It's been added to her team, and I think their main focus is the forehand, but also playing more for strike tennis and just being more aggressive on that wing when she has the options to do it. And so far she managed to do it against Bencic, who at times played a subpar match herself, but I thought Coco handled the situation really, really well. She was served tremendously under pressure, and it took a lot of weight off the forehand having to be a massive weapon. And I think she could actually just rely on her defense and allowing Bencic to hit several balls, and her speed and her foot and her court coverage, I think, really took over in that match actually. So her strengths were really, really, really good, and I think the forehand is just a little bit better right now than it's been in the past. Like at times last year when she played the WTA finals, or at points at certain losses that she's had this year, it's been really, really worrying. But I think this week actually with Gilbert in her corner and Paradiva, they've just been honing that stroke in a little bit more. So that will come to the test against Samsonova as a big hitter and a big server, and it will need to be on and not so much like Bencic, who's more kind of a pace absorber and redirector, and she has power of her own, but Samsonova just has a lot more easy power, I think. So that'll be really interesting to watch. Coco has won their last 2 matches, but they're different players now, so it doesn't.
Yeah, and can you see the?
By the way, the match has started. So the first point just took place. Pegula missed her first serve, 81 mile per hour second serve. Sakkari steps in, and like I was saying, she's been attacking second serves all week. It's an inside-in backhand winner on the second serve, so it's love 15.
Just as we're watching this, can you see Nurlan has asked us a question and asking about the upcoming events in Montreal and Toronto.
This is a great question. I think on the past, Toronto's been faster than than Montreal, just by a touch.
Right. Okay. And any particular reason that? I mean, that'll be in terms of the court conditions and where it is, altitude, that kind of thing. So you're going with Toronto as a bit faster than Montreal, then, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, last year I remember watching them, and I thought, and then also, like, if you just look at the winners and who's had more success where, I just feel like Toronto's been the one for the faster court players. And I think back to Tsonga winning it in 2014, for instance, or Federer going on the runs that he had. He never won Montreal, but he always did much better in Toronto. And I just feel like he just liked the conditions a little bit better. He was a little bit slicker, maybe a little quicker through the court. But I think in general, the US Open Series has become more or less faster the last 2 or 3 years, because they're using, I think, the same balls now everywhere, which is like extra heavy duty for the women.
What was the difference then?
Heavy duty for the men. But Montreal used to be way slower than it is. I think it's actually more similar now, but I still think Toronto is a little bit quicker. But yeah, I mean, maybe we can judge that next week, or like when the main draw starts, because
keep an eye on it and see.
First couple of days, I think, are the key.
Yeah. I'm now finally into Prime, so I should be watching alongside you in any second now. So give me 1 sec, Vatch, and I will. Where am I go? So what's been happening in game 1 then?
Yeah, Pegula did a good job to hold. Made a couple more first serves, but actually won some second serve points as well. Sakkari misses a backhand at 40-30. So yeah, Pegula's held serve.
Okay, good. So, do you think this will be a serve-dominated match? I know we spoke about the first and second serves earlier on. I was looking again at some, 2023 stats for both the girls in terms of the first and second serve. I think, Pegula's actually, for second serve percentage points won, she's actually like third on tour. So do you think this will be all about who will serve better and maybe who takes their chances on their opponent's second serve a little bit better?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think it's protecting the second serve. I think that's huge in this match. I don't think it's going to be a totally serve-dominated match, because they will have looks on each other, and they're both pretty aggressive on second serve returns. So it doesn't surprise me that Pegula has been protecting her second serve well, because I think she does a good job of kind of adjusting her footwork after the second serve, like I saw in the first game, kind of cheating a little bit to her left and expecting Sakkari to go cross court on her forehands, which she likes to do more often. And actually, my stream just cut off. I don't know what happened.
Oh no, God, we're both going blind here. I think.
Okay, cool. I'm back. It's 15-0. I don't know what happened.
You want to know what the funniest thing is? I think I'm just looking into my Prime, and this is obviously I'll need to sort this out. But I've somehow cancelled my Amazon Prime, which is stopping me from watching any of this stuff. So I'm trying to now figure out how to get my Prime back up and running, so that I can continue to watch tennis most weeks and most days. Because it'd be hard to keep up with the tennis without Prime right now. I know that is soon to end. So that's my issue. Basically, that's what's been happening with me.
Yeah, hopefully it works.
But you're back up and running?
Yeah, I am. It's 30-15. Second serve for Sakkari. Pegula looking to be really aggressive on the second serve return and moving up on the baseline. And Sakkari throws in a double fault as she tries to go wide.
Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on with my Prime subscription, but it's like I've somehow cancelled it. So I'm trying to basically then sign up to Amazon again, which should be easier, but we'll see.
Sakkari did a wonderful job in that rally. That's the first real kind of 5+ shot rally that we had, and it featured Pegula running around her backhand and hitting aggressive inside-out forehands. Sakkari remaining solid on her backhand wing, and then taking control with the forehand from the center of the court. One advantage that Pegula definitely has in this match, when they get into baseline rallies, is just the contact point of both players. Sakkari is obviously a muscular, strong player who prides herself on physicality, but what she does is she takes the ball really early.
Yep.
But higher above her shoulders. And so I feel like topspin doesn't bother her as much. But when a player's hit flat and they keep the ball really low and it kind of skids through the court, that's where she tends to struggle a little bit more. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out so far.
I'm just back. Yeah, I was just about to put up what John's just obviously said, in terms of me being in safe hands in terms of your description of what's happening while I try and figure out what is going on here. So yeah, I'll allow you just to kind of keep me updated while I try and figure this out. I'm trying to do it onto the television, but onto the computer, but without the sound now. And I don't want to mute you as well. So
Oh yeah, John is asking you, are you a fan of Dan Evans?
I am, yeah. I'm not somebody who is, Scotland, England, and all that side of things. So yeah, no, I do like Evan. I think he's a quite a bovril character. And what I mean by that is probably a UK term to say that some people love him, some people hate him. There is no in between when it comes to him. But I like his spikiness on court. And I like that about him. I like the players who have got a bit about them. They're not just total I don't know how to describe, but media darlings, they'll say the right things and all that. I think Dan Evans is one of these ones you can put into the category of not conforming to what the media would want to see as behaviour on court. He's had these past clashes with players. I think I watched one. I think I mentioned this before. I think it was at the French one year, and Corentin Moutet, him and we're just absolutely going for it. So yeah, no, I do actually. I quite like. I quite like big Dan Evans, and I'm rooting for him in this event certainly. Both just noticed that I have two cams yet. One is my webcam that I got for doing these streams, and one is just the webcam of the laptop. So it's nothing too fancy. And as you can see from the mess, absolutely not a studio, and more a bedroom than a studio.
I don't know if I got this monitor set up right here.
Oh yeah.
And this is the screen that I'm watching, and then
I think yours is far more sophisticated than I. So yeah, good on you. But good spot, Ghost. I know that there's not a lot that gets past our Ghost. So yeah, good spot in terms of my setup. Right. Let's see what this is saying.
Strong second serve return from Sakkari. Really leaning on that forehand, getting good depth, hitting right on the baseline, caught Pegula off guard. So it's deuce now. Neither players had break point yet, but this is a tough service game for Pegula. Another strong return, this time off the backhand for Sakkari, and they're going backhand cross, backhand cross. Sakkari pulls the trigger a little too early down the line. Not the right ball to go for. She misses it wide. A little bit tense there. She's pretty frustrated about that. Game point for Pegula. Yeah, hi Shri Hari. The stream. Jake is also here. He was. I don't know if he's here now.
Yeah, he was right at the start, and then he was then gone. So yeah, Shahari is around and he's hanging out here, but he doesn't have a stream for this match, so he is going to be relying on us talking him through this one. Unfortunately, for some reason, I continue to have issues which with Prime. I don't know if it's something to do with I've like take my laptop on holiday, which I didn't even use, but it's just acting all weird, like the audio. Like I've got usually the headphones, but I'm hearing you through the computer, so it just seems all my settings are off right now. So I apologise for kind of, as we say, leaving you hanging. But yeah, so I could be a camera guy, but not a tech guy. That's probably what I'm saying to you.
All right, we've got a nice rally here at deuce. Slice backhands galore. Cross court. Sakkari goes big with the cross court topspin. She comes in behind a Pegula slice, and wow, Pegula goes right at Sakkari, which was actually kind of a smart play there. She kept it really low, but it was all set up with the short slice, and then Sakkari was forced to hit a slice herself, come forward on the approach, and Pegula goes right for the body and hits her target. Both players cool with it, of course. No hard feelings.
Yeah. Wait, hold on, let me try something. So
another rally here, backhand cross, backhand cross. And Sakkari doesn't do enough with an overhead, but she gets away with it. Pegula loses her balance on the backhand. Sakkari hitting some really good returns in this game, getting a decent amount of depth, and then engaging in kind of the cross-court rallies. And I think actually, just like her countryman Tsitsipas, she likes to be hitting inside-out forehands from her backhand corner. I think she's really comfortable with that play. But in this matchup, Pegula is going to want to go down the line and make Sakkari defend on the backhand as opposed to getting comfortable in that corner. But this time, Sakkari really leans on that Pegula second serve, right in her strike zone, and hits an inside-out backhand winner. Clean winner there. Wow. Made Pegula pay. In fairness, it was a pretty slow second serve. I want to say it was under 80 miles per hour. They can show me the radar gun. It was exactly 80. Okay. So second serve and break point. I'm going to talk us through this point. Second serve. Pegula hits a nice kick serve. Sakkari returns over the backhand cross, backhand cross, backhand cross. Pegula going backhand line. Sakkari gets there, and she gets a good amount of depth. It's down the center, and Pegula misses the backhand in the net. So
I'm just gonna jump away for 1 second, mate. Just but I will be back. I'm just trying to sort this issue. All right.
Pegula. I think Pegula is a slight favorite right now in this match, but like I said, I've just been liking the way Sakkari's been playing all week, and I think he's in a great frame of mind, and I think if she keeps up this level without any mental dips, I feel like a lot of Sakkari's hurdles are between the years. He's one of the strongest players when it comes to firepower, weight of shot, physicality, and I think for her it's all about managing the big moments under pressure. I think we lost Tom, but I think he's just trying to get his stream working. Who will be in the men's final? That's a great question. I do think it's going to be interesting to see how Dimitrov comes out because Dimitrov's had a very good year. Probably his best year since 2017. I think Gil Gross put that on Twitter. I agree with that. I like Fritz to get through the first semifinal against Greek Sport. So I think he's going to be there, and then we'll see if Evans can play that well again. He obviously had a phenomenal win against Tiafoe, and he's going to have to back that up now against Dimitrov, who plays kind of a very similar style to him, but I would think Dimitrov just has a little bit more success overall, and he's probably fresher physically. I could see that one being a very tight and entertaining match that goes 3 sets. I'm going to say Dimitrov and Fritz get to the final. Yeah, there we go. That's the tweet. Yeah, I mean, if you look at all of Dimitrov's losses this year, he's been winning at least 2/3 of his matches, and all of his losses have been against the very best players. Twice Djokovic, twice Alcaraz, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Rune, Sinner, players like that, Zverev and the French. So I feel like, he's only been losing to the best players, and this is a good opportunity for him. He's back in the top 20. And yeah, that would be an interesting final. Fritz against Dimitrov. They actually already played earlier this year in Geneva in the semifinal there, and Fritz was up 6-3, 4-2 in that match and had numerous chances, and Dimitrov hadn't been back in an ATP final in over 5 years. But that was a huge win for him to just put himself back in the final again and just believe he can contend for some of these 250s and 500s. I think in terms of match toughness, it could certainly help Evans to play those 2 matches that he did yesterday. Tiafoe did look a little bit gas at times, although I do think just he found some of his energy again towards the middle of the second set, and he managed to make the second set pretty competitive. First set was just all about one break. I think, what was I going to say? Dimitrov being super well rested. I mean, that could bode well. That could bode well from a physical standpoint, but I don't know if it's the best thing to have a walkover like he had against Humbert and then basically not play on Thursday either. And then come back and play a match. But I just like the matchup against Evans. I think he has a little more firepower. He can hurt Dan off the forehand. I think he'll get more out of his first serve. In some ways, I kind of think of Evans as kind of a baby Grigor, which that's not my favorite term, but it is kind of apt when you think about their games. So far, it looks like Pegula is going to hold comfortably 40 love here. Who's the third favorite for the US Open right now? I would think Medvedev. I haven't checked the odds, but I would say Carlos and Novak, and then Medvedev has to be third. I don't know who else you can have after besides Medvedev. Let's check the odds. DraftKings 2023 US Open odds. Yeah, as I expected, I knew Sinner would be the fourth favorite. Odds makers just love Sinner in terms of being at number 4 in terms of every major, and I guess fair enough because it's now been to a major semifinal before, and I guess he has been somewhat in contention for the fourth best player this year. You have Tsitsipas at 5, Runa at 6, Casper Ruud 7th, Alexander Zverev 8th, Kyrgios 9. That's ridiculous. Kyrgios is not even going to play. And then 10 is Fritz. Wow. I mean, trying to see who else. Where is Rublev? Rublev is all the way down at 14th. So it might be a little too low, but I kind of get it. Yeah. Alcaraz right now plus 125 favorite, which I guess, for those who don't know, it's like if I bet 100, I get 125 if I take him right now. Sinner doesn't have a standout win. Yeah, for the most part, he plays Alcaraz really well. He plays Rublev really well. He still has a lot more work to do against a lot of the other players, I think. Particularly Djokovic and Medvedev. I think those are his two toughest tests. Game style wise. Right, Sakkari serving at 3-2, 15 love. We got another backhand to backhand exchange. Pegula trying to go early and go down the line. As Sakkari is cheating to her backhand wing. Backhand cross. Pretty long rally here. Some nice ball striking from Pegula, and she gets the error of the Sakkari backhand. That's where Sakkari had to really scoop that ball below her knees. And that's exactly what Pegula wants to do, is force Sakkari to hit those type of backhands rather than the ones that are up high and kind of shoulder height. Yeah, I think Cilic is not going to be playing the U.S. Open. He came back maybe a little too soon in Umag. He had his knee all taped up, and I just hope he didn't do further damage. He had a really good year last year, but yeah, I mean, this year is just, it's kind of a write-off for him. Pegula hitting with great depth, but she missed that backhand just a little long. Frustrating miss, neutral rally ball error. Oh, and I think actually it's being challenged, and yes, it was out. Perhaps an opportunity miss, and it looked like she was on the ascendancy at that point, but nonetheless, Sakkari gets the error, and it's 30-15.
Hello. Raj.
Good serve for Sakkari. Some decent amount of depth on that second serve, but Pegula responds with a forehand return and makes Sakkari defend on her forehand and draws the error off the squash shot. So it's 30-all.
So I finally have coverage. So apologies for that, Banch. I'm finally watching the match. So we're in.
Great, no worries. Yeah, I know this can be challenging actually. But where are you at right now? Like, what's your score? As Sakkari hits a screaming forehand winner.
Okay, I have Sakkari 7-3 to break up 40-30.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and it's just 40-30 right now, and that forehand just caught the back of the line, and both players smiling actually. And Pegula is like, I mean, that's just too good. But just laughing at how absurd that was. That was almost a Del Potro like forehand. I'm not even kidding.
So playing well then, yeah, because obviously you've been describing it great, and but yeah, so this is going pretty much from what I can gather from what you've been saying. You know, you had the pre-match prediction. Sakkari could maybe not a groundbreaking upset, but it would be an upset nonetheless. And this is going as, you know, just pretty much so far as you've pre-match thought.
Yes. Let me just see this rally right here. Sakkari, wow, comes up with a great angle off the backhand. That was a tough shot. makes Pegula go for the slice, and she floats it. So it's 4-2.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm actually in the first point of 4-2, so I might be just slightly ahead.
Yeah.
But so I don't know how you want to call it, or what was your thoughts? I can hold off for
I mean,
yourself.
if you could like rewind it by 10 seconds, that would be great. But if not, that's
No, that's sound. That sound. Let me do that. I mean, I've just managed to get the video playing, and you're now asking me to mess about with the tech, but that's absolutely fine, Vanch. I can do that.
yeah.
And
I
rewind
mean,
it,
no
I
worries
do.
if you can.
So there we go.
Just catch up. Okay, yeah. So I'm currently at love all, and they're in the slice backhand exchange. Yeah, Pegula just missed the forehand
Yeah,
cross,
that's where I am now.
and now it's now 15.
Yeah. Finally, we got there.
Yeah.
And so sorry for dropping off as well. So what have I missed? What's been the chat? I think you were talking a little bit about the US Open. Some of the favourites going into that.
Some of the favorites on the men's side, of course, with Carlos and Novak and Medvedev being third. Just mostly just been looking at the comments and just seeing what people want to hear about. As Sakkari is able to get another return and play and a few more unforced errors from Pegula than she would really want. It's piling up now, 10. A lot of that is actually Sakkari like forcing the issue.
Yeah.
But Pegula feeling like she's having to do a little bit too much to win these points right now. So this is a very important game because
absolutely, I think yeah. I think from what I've seen, and I know it hasn't been a lot so far, but the ground strokes here from Sakkari are causing real damage and forcing the error. And I know that Pegula has just hit back a little bit, so she might now be kind of finding her range. The players
got a free point on the serve, so that'll help. 30 all.
Yeah.
Second serve is where I'm at right now.
Yeah, same. 30 all second serve. As Sakkari goes for a wild backhand down the line, she didn't want to hang about on that point at all there. Possibly the wrong shot to attempt.
So I think she should have hit a forehand there. I think
she had time to run around. She had time to run around and hit that, didn't she?
I think she kind of misjudged that. She thought it was going to be more.
And she finds the net off a Pegula first serve. She's looking a little bit frustrated. Despite
that was kind of interesting because I mean Sakkari tried to go for a lot on some of those returns, but I think in some ways it's a confidence sign that she feels like she's serving well enough right now that she hasn't been put under too much pressure.
Yeah,
and she still has that one break.
And tell me, do you think I did know I noticed yesterday that Pegula was obviously that set down and then fought back. So right now, it's still very early in the first, but you think Pegula's the cooler head in terms of, she'll believe in her ability. If she does lose this first set, she'll believe that she she's been here, she's done that. As Sakkari so far this event, and again, I've not been keeping up too much. Has she been down a set, or has she been fighting back? How is she?
No, she had those two matches yesterday. I mean, actually, yesterday she perhaps got a little bit tight when she was double break up against Leila in the first set, and then Leila managed to play a few good games and got it to about 5-all, and then Sakkari managed to get the break, and then like her next 3 sets were fairly straightforward. The second set against Leila, and then the 2 sets against Keys. So those have been the only 2 matches she's played. Whereas Pegula has had to work harder because obviously she had that match against Svitolina, which was a pretty high level one.
And why is it? I mean, if Sakkari can play this well on a hard court, why is it? Do you think that she has struggled to make her mark on the hard surface?
Well, I mean, last year she made the Indian Wells final, and then she also made the final in Guadalajara, losing to Pegula there actually. And then actually, like she had a last season she had a surge at the very end because she also got to the semis of the WTA finals in Turin before losing to Garcia. And then she seems to play well in Indian Wells again. This year she got to the semis and then lost to Sabalenka there, and I think she can play pretty well on hard courts as well as clay. To be honest, so far seems like grass is the one that's tougher for
her. In terms of the match right now, she's a point to the good so far. In game 8, she's now on a second serve, changing balls. I don't think she liked that one that she'd just been sent by the ball kid. So she's a point to the good, 15-love. She serves her second serve. Pegula returns it, backhand to backhand, sliced by Pegula, sliced backhand by Sakkari, another sliced backhand, this time down the line, and that forces Sakkari to go long. Some good tennis now from Pegula, much better than the early parts of this match.
That's what Pegula wants to do, is she wants to make Sakkari generate off of the lower balls. Because Sakkari does such a good job when the ball is kind of shoulder height, and when it's in her strike zone sitting up, she likes to play attacking tennis off of kind of the loopier balls, and she has no problem creating pace on those, but it's those ones that are kind of out of her strike zone. She has to scoop below her knees.
Yeah,
that's where
I think that let just dropped in, so I think we're on a still a first serve here. I may be wrong. Good first serve nonetheless.
111, I think, down the tee and hit the spot perfectly, and Pegula couldn't get it back.
Yeah. And again, just to keep our nose in front, again, a quite an important game, despite it only being the 8th one of the match, in terms of psychologically, keeping our nose in front for as long as possible. It's going to be good for all the doubters. Like you said, I think you said earlier on, Sakkari's biggest doubter is herself between the years. So as long as she can keep Pegula at arm's length, then she'll grow in confidence. Yeah.
I believe so. Sometimes she actually plays some of her best tennis when she's down in the score.
Okay.
And she's kind of chasing in the scoreboard as opposed to leading. Then actually sometimes she does tend to get tight because those thoughts kind of creep up. Or when she's close to the finish line, that's when sometimes these matches have slipped away from her. But actually when she's down, I remember there's this one match, 2021 Miami, they played each other in the quarters, and she saved 6 match points against Pegula, and all 6 were with winners off the forehand. And it was just some of the best tennis you'll ever see Sakkari play, and it's because she was down on the scoreboard and she felt like she's going to lose this match, so she's like, might as well just go for everything and just. But at the same time, she was constructing the points well that season, and it was one of her best years because she did obviously get to the 2 Grand Slam semifinals that year too, and that was kind of the first year where she made her mark inside the top 10. And this time it's actually Sakkari tried to go for the drop shot, but Pegula just read the play pretty well, and drop shot maybe set up a little bit too much. It wasn't a terrible drop shot. I credit more Pegula for getting there and then coming up with this nice flick cross court on the forehand.
Just having a think here. Having a think here, Vanch, and I believe I've done a Sakkari match already as part of the Talking Tennis commentary, and already just thinking back to that match, she's already, I can always remember just being disappointed in terms of the match. I'm trying to think the match exactly, but yeah, she's playing some nice stuff. I think it might have been in Madrid. I think it might have been against Badosa on the clay. And in terms of thinking Sakkari had a really good chance in that. It was a fairly comfortable win for Badosa, if I remember correctly. And
6-4, 6-4, right?
Something like that, yeah. Like a bit, and she wasn't really ever in the match. So this is why I'm saying this. Like, so far, what I've seen from Sakkari, and granted, like I say, this is the first time I've seen her on the hard court this year. Well, certainly since post Wimbledon, and she's just looking good. She's looking confident, and she's hitting the ball well.
She is, yeah. So far, she's been the more overpowering player of the two, and managed to serve really well, which is really helping her out.
Yeah.
And she's hitting with such good depth, catching Pegula, forcing Pegula to be a little bit more proactive with her footwork. I think Pegula wants to be, standing pretty close to the baseline and being able to kind of redirect that power. But I think it would actually help if she perhaps took an inch away and stood back on some of these shots and got a little bit more height over the net. I think that would help her in this kind of situation. Just reset, because at least then you're questioning, you're making Sakkari at least having to play with a little bit more shot tolerance. But right now, the depth of Sakkari is really just bothering Pegula and kind of rushing her.
Yeah, she's, like you say, rushing her. I was going to use the term bullying her just on the court, just going, this is my game right now. I'm in charge here. And, you know, as you can see, it's 15:30. On the scoreboard, we're actually at 15:40. A fairly easy points, but she's looking like she will have two set points.
She's doing a really good job of playing down the center, forcing Pegula to come up with something special, and just so far it's been working, because then she gets that, like she got the shorter ball right there, and then she can just go for the kill. 15:40, yeah. Pegula makes the first serve, but Sakkari again, a really strong return, going big down the line with the backhand, hitting the backhand cross court really well, and then hitting the inside in, and putting Pegula on the move, and she's got the first set, 6-3. That was a commanding set.
Really
from
good.
Really high level. Really, really good serving. Good composure when she had to step up, and so far she's been the better player for sure.
Next one, she wraps that up in 35 minutes. The number 4 seed against the number 1 seed, getting the first set, and it was just took the one break and then some fairly confident tennis. We do, as you can see, have a 60-second break incoming in between the first and second set. So yeah,
I'm gonna get to some of these comments. Were they talking about team? Oh yeah. Team against Bias today. The story of that match really was. First of all, I think Bias played really well. Did take advantage of her team, who was fairly out of gas from the semi against Basel here.
Vanch, I think were you talking during the promo there? I don't know if you missed the promo that was on there. No, hello. You still there, Vanch? Oh, you're on mute. I've unmuted you, I think, or I've tried to.
The sound is gone.
There we go. Hi, can you hear us now? Oh no, Vanch is having problems now. Let us know if you can hear us or not, Vanch. I will talk us through just while Vanch is dropped off there. So tech problems galore, no matter where you are in the world. So the main machines haven't beaten us yet. So the second set it's just starting off. Obviously, I had problems even watching it. So right now, if I hadn't got that back, we'd have two people trying to do a watch along, unable to watch. We are exchanging slice backhands. Really dominant display so far by Maria Sakkari, and Pegula will be looking to make her mark early doors. Vanch looks like he is returning to us, but it just took Sakkari 35 minutes to wrap up that set. It was just a one break, and Pegula couldn't force a return. Vanch, are you with us?
Yes, I think I'm back. And sorry about talking over the.
No, it's okay.
I totally missed that, and I was just kind of in my own little.
I think you saw somebody ask about the Team Bias match. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about this as I keep an eye on the tennis. But for those who didn't watch it, and I was one of them, I was just trying to do a bit of life admin today after a week's holiday. So yeah, just tell us what were you saying during that promo then? What happened in the Team Baez match?
I don't know. I was just mainly commenting on team's fatigue because of the match against Jera and how Baez was able to kind of take advantage of it. Team's court position on his return and kind of breezed through his service games, and team never really had a look on the Baez return and didn't do a great job of protecting his own serve, and just the sharpness and the footwork wasn't quite there from the match against Jera, and he played it a bit too passively, I thought, and that's kind of what happened in the final, but it's understandable.
Yeah. For team fans, then, is this a mark that he is maybe returning to any sense and form of previous pre-injury, or is this just home crowd, clay court?
I hope it's something more than just home crowd and clay court, because this is the first time he's been in a final. I mean, he's made a couple of semis last year post US Open indoors, and I thought that would really propel him. And then he had the off season, and then we really had nothing to cling on to before this week, apart from 2 close losses to Tsitsipas in Madrid and Wimbledon. But this time I thought he showed quite a lot more mettle. I thought his forehand, he was going for it in bigger moments. And when he's hitting the forehand big, and he has the confidence to go after that shot, then we see the best version of team. So I thought that was a bit more this week, and came back. He ended the week a different player than how he started it. So I think this is a step in the right direction, and he found found a better form at the last possible clay court tournament of the year in Kitzbühel, in front of his home crowd, and he had many chances to lose the Jara match, but he ended up winning it. So I'm going to take it as a step in the positive direction. But as far as like when he plays against kind of better competition in the top 50 and on hard courts, there's still quite a lot of question marks. But he's back inside the top 90. He was outside the top 100 at the start of this week, and it's kind of just baby steps. And I just hope he builds on it, because I think we all are rooting for team to be back in the mix in terms of winning big titles, or even just coming close to the top guys. So I just hope he's able to carry the vibes from this week.
I think we all. I think everyone's got a soft spot for Dominic Thiem, but I'm sure there will be some people out there who disagree. As you can see, Sakkari has wrapped up after a little bit of pressure. She was down love 30 in that first game of the second set.
Saw some frustration from Pegula as she threw her racket at 30-all, just not getting the return back, and it's been those frustrating days for her so far.
I like racket smash. Nothing too bad, but it was on I think it was on 30-all, wasn't it? And she tried a cross-court return, which sailed wide, much to her frustration.
Not 15 love right now, but
and she's just forced Sakkari long off the first serve, so she's now at 30 love. And the scoreboard and our commentary somehow matching up, which is always helpful.
Yeah, that's good. So far, the difference has also been just Sakkari serving a lot better. I mean, she's won over like 80% of her first serve points, and that's been really key. She hasn't faced a break point. I think the service rhythm's been there, and then that's kind of helped her off the ground.
Yeah, and just looking at Jean, I hope, or is it Jean? It's Jean in Scotland. This it may be elsewhere in the world, but it's just going back to Pegula seem flat. I was thinking the exact same thing when I read that comment. She's had a double fault, and she's just hit the top of the net to go 30 all.
Too many kind of lackluster errors in some big spots. She doesn't usually have a super high unforced error count, but today just doesn't seem to be feeling all that comfortable yet in terms of her baseline rhythm. But I think if she holds serve here and she starts building that scoreboard pressure with her serving,
she's had a strong serve there. She's now pulling out the new racket. I don't know if she has bust a string there a second ago. But she's got game point at 40-30. Both players coming under a little bit of pressure on the serve, as you can imagine. Both similar players, play at a similar level. Want to take on a service as soon as any sort of shortness. Talk to me as an Andy Murray Vanch then. I saw again bits last night as I was coming back from abroad. Saw that he'd won the first set 7-6, and then obviously went on to lose the next two, I think to 4 on each occasion. What happened? I was seeing some ATP tweets about Murray drop shots and thinking he's going to win here tonight. So what happened in that one?
Yeah, I think the main takeaway obviously was Andy's level, because he is playing a little bit more aggressively and more confidently, and so you like to see that. He was mixing in the drop shots. He was playing well tactically. The problem is he just threw in 2 bad service games in both the second and the third. And the third set, and it happened in big moments. He played a bad game at 4-all, missed every single first serve, allowed Fritz to dictate and play aggressive tennis, and that was a shame, because I actually thought up until 4-all he was the better player in the third set, and it was Fritz who was having to come up with really, really special stuff just to hold his own serve. And Andy, I think, had 2-3, 15-40 in the third set, and that was a really crucial game that Fritz managed to get out of. And I think But what impressed me was actually how Andy came out what impressed me was how Andy came back in the first set, actually, and how aggressive he played in that first set. And I think he hit like 24 winners, and a lot of them were coming off of his forehand, and he was upping the miles per hour. And it was a very important set for him to win, but unfortunately he had a lull at the start of the second, which was costly, and then he had the lull in the latter stage of the third. And I think that's kind of the difference when you're playing these top players. It's kind of what happened in the Tsitsipas match as well, like one loose game at 1-all in the fifth. Albeit that was over 2 days and it was a high quality. This was also high quality stuff, but I think the takeaway is just that Andy's getting closer and he's clearly playing better than what his ranking is right now, which I think he's like 40 in the world, but I would say he's playing more to the 25, top 20, top 25 level, as opposed to number 40 in the world level. So it's encouraging, but I'm sure Andy is not going to be happy with just encouraging at this point. Like, I think he just wants to see the win. He doesn't want to see any more consolation wins, if you like.
Right.
So,
okay. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the thing. Just keep putting himself in more positions, and eventually he's going to beat a top 10 player. But right now, it's just he's coming really close, but it's just not quite enough.
Okay, Vanch, we've got a question for you that we may have to do a bit of research to get. But Gene, again, hopefully I'm getting the name right. But has anyone ever won Atlanta and Washington back to back? Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Actually, I haven't thought about that one. I don't think Nishikori's ever won Atlanta. I don't think Isner has won Washington, but I think he's been in the final of Washington. Anderson has been in the final of Washington, and I think he's not won it. He's never won Atlanta either. Actually, he's just been in the final of both. Do you mean like in the same year, or in the just? Oh, okay, yeah, no, you mean back to back. Okay, yeah, that is the same year. That's interesting. Fritz might actually be the first guy to do that then.
Yeah, I think that's what the question is alluding to. So I mean, he would certainly be surely got to be one of the first Americans, but I don't know if it's a good shout. Just to update the tennis, we have Sakkari 2-1 in front now. The second set so far, going with serve. Hasn't been any break points or anything like to shout about just yet. But yeah, so we are still with Serve Pegula to serve 1-2 down in the second set, and it's just not been going the Americans' way so far. Producer John Ghost, I believe, is now ducked out for a little bit, so you're left with ourselves, and so I believe, Vanch, are you trying to find out an answer to Gene's question?
No, but I actually think he's onto something, and that Fritz could be the first guy to do it.
Okay, cool. Discovering things all the time here on Talking Tennis. Do you think that makes you root for Fritz any more or less, Vanch?
I mean, I like to see the American men do well, and I do like kind of there's certain qualities that Fritz has that I do like. Certainly, I think he's a great ball striker, and it's fun to watch in full flow in combination with the fundamentals with the serve, and he's improved his athleticism, and I just admire his kind of determination and his professionalism to the game because he takes a lot of tough losses, but he rebounds from them really nicely. He comes back from adversity well. Physically, he's actually more of a beast than people realize. I mean, this is a guy who I think 2 years ago was wheeled off the court at the French Open against Dominic Koepfer in the second round, and he had a meniscus tear that I thought was going to keep him out for months. And 5 weeks back, he's there playing Wimbledon, winning his first two rounds, and then tweeting, "I'm built different." And then and then loses in the third round to Zverev, but a really tight four-setter. And then kind of the last couple of years, he's just improved a lot, and it's not easy to kind of after having the year that he had last year to come back and then post consistent results. He had a bit of a lull, I think, from Monte Carlo at the end of Monte Carlo, where he moved the semis from his next tournament till Atlanta. He really kind of struggled and was in a bit of a funk and was losing a lot of tight matches. But I think now he's winning Atlanta was really big for his confidence. Actually, just winning another title again, even if it was just a 250, he still had all the pressure. He was the number one seed, managed to do it, and then now he's playing really good tennis. In Washington, physically, I wonder if he'll have enough left to go make deep runs in the Masters events as well, because I think the main key for him would just be having a better US Open.
Right. Yeah.
It's not been past the third round there, and his last 4 slam results have been really disappointing. So that's
an interesting point you make there, Vanch. Because in terms of the US Open, then I sometimes like to think about from every country who would go the further. Now, Francis Tiafoe obviously last year had a great US Open, great event. Many wouldn't have put him as the guy to be the last American standing in that event in terms of certainly for the ATP side, especially with Fritz winning and doing Wells last year as well. So in terms of that, do you think Fritz, the way he's playing now, if he does do the back-to-back, then it's, he's going to be the American that will be there the longest?
I think at some point in one of these majors, he's probably going to end up being the last American standing. I don't know if it'll be this one, because I think it is very still like draw dependent.
Of course, yeah.
So I have to see the draw before I answer that question, but I think he has as good of a chance as Tiafoe does, and as good of a chance as Paul and stuff. I think his floor seems to be the highest still of those three. And he's got a good matchup whenever he does play those. Whenever he does play Tiafoe, he usually has the upper hand. Just ball striking and just composure and big moments. But I think Francis as well really kind of thrives in that New York energy, obviously with the crowd, and also just he's so popular there, and he obviously had great memories from the run last year, and there's no reason to think he can't do that again. So and he's also now top 10, so we do have both of them in the top 10. So that's good, I guess, for us.
Back to this match, and I might be slightly behind here on my stream, but I've just seen Pegula just smash another racket. Nothing again too heavy, but
it's the depth, and she just doesn't quite have that footwork. She's not making those little steps to give herself a little bit more time on some of these ground strokes. They're just coming really fast at her, and she's not able to redirect them well enough. And Sakkari is hitting with a lot of depth. And just hitting the heavier ball, I think, at the minute too.
So how if Sakkari does take this one out, and she does,
that's a fantastic forehand inside in, and exactly from the backhand corner, and
perfect winner. You could see Pegula, she was trying to run for that ball. She looked a little bit like, what do I need to do here? But yeah, so she's Sakkari is now 1 set and a break to the good. Everything going her way. There was a neck cord, I think, a little bit in there. I sort of apologising for something, just to set up the break point. How is there a way back for Pegula here, Vanch?
I won't write her off yet, just because, like, Sakkari finish line pressure, semi-final, anything can still happen, and but I just think she needs Sakkari's level to drop a little bit right now.
Well, not in that point there. She's just,
she needs to look at a few more second serves, and she needs to
a vicious forehand into the corner from the Greek, and then sets up the second. When she had so much time.
I also think she's been getting a little too negative on some of these points. Just her body language hasn't been as great so far.
And that's strong.
A little bit more frustration. I think Sakkari is seizing that right now. And again, just making first serves, really, really high first serve percentage. I mean, as you can see, and I think this also shows win probability based on SAP, which does the stats for the WTA, and it was 50-50, exactly 50-50.
Yeah.
So,
and then what I can tell folk if they're not watching what it is now, because I just saw that as well. What it says.
I think it was 96-4. So wow.
Yeah. Absolutely racing through this game. She is racing to a 40 love lead in this one again, just dominating.
This is really, really good stuff though from Sakkari. Like I'll have to nitpick to find things that she's not doing well in this match so far.
Yeah,
because so far she's playing this really, really well.
No, you can't disagree with that, mate. You cannot disagree with that. She has it's again by the scoreboard.
This is the first serve she's missed in this game. And I think Pegula has to hope that this level kind of comes down a little bit.
Well, double fault.
Double fault, yeah.
But it looks a long way back right now for Jessica Pegula. A set, a breakdown. Sakkari playing the way she is, dominating the points the way that she is. It's going to be hard to see a turnaround, but this is why we love tennis. It's not beyond the realms of possibility as Sakkari races into a 4-1 lead. She's 2 games away from the final here in Washington. And just looking ahead, for those who weren't with us at the start, Vanch, just looking ahead, I know that you spoke about Coco Gauff to me a little bit earlier on. There maybe wasn't as many people watching at that time, but you mentioned that it was one of the better performances you'd probably seen of her. Do you make that performance make her the favourite in the second semi-final?
Different matchup than against Bencic, of course, who loves to be the one kind of redirecting and absorbing the pace being thrown at her, and as opposed to kind of Samsonova, who loves to generate her own firepower, particularly really huge off the serve and forehand. So she's going to be a bit more challenged, I think, in terms of she has to be more proactive than she would normally have to be. So I think Samsonova will ask her some difficult questions, but I think Gauff has been playing so well so far in terms of she's been serving really well. She's been taking care of the things that she can control, and the forehand looks to be a little bit more she seems to be getting more pace and depth on her return. She seems to be kind of giving herself the best chance with the higher loopier balls and getting I think if she can extend the rallies against Samsonova, that will be a huge advantage for Gauff. Because I just back her the longer the rallies go, and I think she's a better returner. I think she does a lot of things really well. It's just the forehand there's a big gap in terms of forehand potency still. So that's where I think if Gauff has a strong start, then I think she could actually come out on top, and I think she's a slight favorite. So I'm going to go with her just slightly, but she's also never been in the final of a 500, and this is kind of usually where we've seen her hit her ceiling. So it would be something special for her actually to beat Bencic and Samsonova, 2 great players back to back.
You talk about ceiling, and I like to give out hypotheticals, Vanch. It makes it interesting. We live in a hypothetical world sometimes. I'm sure you'll agree. So I'm going to throw this one at you. in terms of we've still got the Sakkari to
But in
win
terms
this
of
match.
if you're asking me to like predict a winner,
Mhm.
like
Well,
like I said, like I think Goff is a favorite.
yeah. Well, what I was
But
going
I
to ask you
actually
is
think
if it tends to be, let's just say hypothetically, it's going to be a Sakkari Goff final. Let's just say hypothetically, okay.
yeah,
Who needs it? Who needs that win more? Who out of the two of those players?
Sakkari without a question, because she hasn't won a title since Rabat 2019, and that's a long, long time to go without a title. And she's almost 30 years old, and Goff is only 19. So
Yeah.
I think easy answer, Sakkari, because
Okay.
at least Goff has
Okay.
already won 3
Interesting.
titles. She's been in a major final. Like you feel like she's going to get back there many more times. But
Well,
with Sakkari, like
yeah. It's just I've heard a lot of people, after Goff and her Wimbledon performance, a lot of people basically just writing her completely off in terms of, ability and in terms of, her career, a career that basically 4 or 5 years ago people were, talking out to be, one of multiple Grand Slams. Do you know what I mean? So I just wondered if in terms of the way things have been going for her lately, if maybe Coco Gauff needed it more just to kind of go, I'm not going anywhere.
maybe, but I think like okay, maybe she's not going to be like a multi-slam champion or something. Like people kind of pump the brakes a little bit from that kind of thinking. Like when she first came out 15, 16 years ago, and it was kind of like what
Yeah.
we're seeing with Mira Andreeva, right? Like just
Yeah,
first
exactly.
time kind of you take out Venus, you kind of like the hype is really building, and then you kind of get to a stage where players kind of figure out the playbook on you a lot more, and you're kind of the hunted as opposed to the hunter, and there's a totally different dynamic. And so I think she's done well to be top 10 for a good 2 3 years, and she's been kind of getting to quarterfinals and round of 16s and stuff like that. But and I have no doubt that like at some point she has a really good head on her shoulders. She has a really good team now. The forehand is kind of the only big thing that's like missing, and it is a big thing. Don't get me wrong, but it's still at least I feel like on the clay, at least on some of the slower surfaces, like she has so many other strengths that a lot of the other players just don't like. They just don't have those athletic gifts. So I feel like at some point she's gonna figure it out, and I think it's not too late yet because she's only 19.
Yeah.
Whereas for somebody like some of these players like Sakkari or like Jabor or even a Pegula, like who are 28, 29, 27, their window is maybe another 2 to 4 years. Like, they're not that young anymore. So
Yep. Back to
there's more scar
this.
tissue, I think, for those to be building.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
No, I couldn't disagree with anything you're saying there, Vanch. I think you've described it really well. Just very briefly, back to the match we are watching at the moment. Sakkari put one long. She was putting pressure on. She'd put one long and then into the net. I'm not going to misspeak, but hopefully that isn't the the turn of poor form for her, if you know what I mean, like in terms of starting to think the finish line is here, and then just starting to lose her game.
This is where sometimes we've seen Sakkari wobble a little bit. This is exactly
wobble.
the spot because
Wobble.
Because like she's up a break, she's 2 holes away. She knows what her record in semifinals is. She's as aware of it as anyone. She jokes about it, which I think is actually healthy.
Yeah.
But this is where like you just have to focus on the next serve, the next point. You just have to like, as cliche as it sounds, like it's just.
Yeah, well, she has love 15 out. She's just hit the net. Pegula seems to be hitting the ball a little bit harder. The crowd will be getting behind her as well. Like you say, wobble, great term for it. And she was just
a little bit tight on that forehand as well. She wound up missing that shot earlier on. So we're seeing a few more signs maybe of some of the nerves creeping in.
She was only a couple of points. She was only a couple of points from 5-1, and now she could be potentially at 4-3. It just shows you the quick turnaround. We're talking 3-4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
She goes wide this time with a forehand.
Yeah, that's not great. You don't want to be missing wide in these kind of spots, but you know, if you're Sakkari, you got to tell her like, okay, it's still I'm still up 4-3. I'm still, you know, it's still on serve. If she loses this point, of course, but she's gotta think positively right now.
I mean, I'm thinking back. Are these the first break points Pegula's had a look at in the match?
Yeah.
Or am I? Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. And
I think this will be a big moment in the match. I think
them.
we're talking, you know, in terms of momentum, and the tennis is a game about momentum. This is a big moment we are watching right now as she saves the first one.
Which point right here? 30-40?
30-40 now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it 30-40? Okay. Yeah. Why is my screen just
strong first serve?
That point. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. I'll probably have to refresh this.
It's okay. Take your time, mate. I can talk us through it.
Okay.
As so, breakpoint number 3, 30-40. Sakkari, good first serve, strong forehand, returned by Pegula, but it's a mishit. It's a mishit forehand. Pegula has her first break of the match. Just when you thought the match was drifting away from her, Pegula hits back. We're still not with serve as yet. It's 3-4 as the girls sit down. And as I said to you, big moment in the match. This could be a momentum changer. And
it really could. This could be, I mean, so far the flow of this match and the way this match was going, it's reminding me a lot of Svitolina versus Vondrousova in the semis of Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Where, you know, honestly, it looked like Vondrousova was gonna win at 6-1 or 6-0, and then Svitolina managed to get one of the breaks back, and it was 3-4. But then she played a sloppy game.
Yeah.
So,
you just wonder if Sakkari can go for it here. In terms of she doesn't want maybe put in her best effort in terms of like doesn't want the pressure of being back to 4-all. Serving is up again. You wonder.
Yeah.
But good play by Pegula.
Because there is real scar tissue there for Maria. And,
I mean,
it's such a psychological game. So
this is the comment by Kathy. I don't think we would disagree. She's saying obviously Maria doesn't have a monkey on her back; she has a 1-ton gorilla. So a good way of putting it in terms of, you know, it's the mind. The mind will be playing tricks on her now, and you know the best way to do that is break back straight away, and then be serving for the final. So on we go. Pegula serves, return of forehand by Sakkari. She's got Pegula on the run. She goes cross court this time. Pegula could only stretch. Nice play, nice start by Sakkari. Are you at the same bit as me, Vanch?
Yep, and it was the forehand there that set up that point that she didn't need to do too much with the backhand, and I think she played that well, and it started with an aggressive second serve return too. So good start on the return.
Okay,
second serve. Pegula can get a few cheap points. She's just missed the first serve here. 15.
Okay. Oh, she gets away with a net cord.
She gets the net cord, yeah.
Now, about 15 minutes ago, it was Sakkari getting the net cords and getting all the luck that tennis throws at you. It's now Pegula, and that says to me sometimes that's when the momentum shifts, when the luck goes your way rather than against it. Strong first serve by Pegula. Only has Sakkari getting it just back, unreturnable, wide of the tram lines. We have 30-15 Pegula. Hello, Osaka Net. How are we doing? Good to have you with us. Tom and Vance here for Pegula and Sakkari. Is Pegula fighting back a little bit now?
Strong backhand return down the line, and Sakkari hitting the good depth, forcing Pegula to do too much on the backhand. Pegula pushes that one wide, so it's 30-all.
Okay. So we are at. So the girls.
Another really good first serve return, and
Yeah.
Sakkari was exactly where she wanted at that point, but perhaps she wants that forehand back.
Yeah, it just seems like she is. There's always this subjectiveness of a forced error and an error, but it just seems like she's not hitting it with the same freedom, Sakkari, as she was, 20 minutes, 25 minutes ago. And I just wonder if we have.
Here. This is a big point.
Like,
30-second serve. Sakkari trying to go for too much on that return.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the tail of the tape right now. Sakkari 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago.
So all of a sudden we have a pretty intriguing match that could go either way. Whereas before,
well, all the momentum's with Pegula right now. All the momentum is with Jessica Pegula. So
1-4 deuce to 4-all. So pretty sure she's won like at least 12 of the last 15 points.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. Yeah, you'll not be wrong.
Oh, and this time it's Pegula who's hitting a deep return, and
right on the line.
Looks tense and looking up at her box. Looking at her coach Tom Hill, and
now mouth it
This
off.
is where you start to see things.
We said wobble. We said this was going to be a bit of a wobble. She can come through this, so this will show a bit of resolve to people. If she can come through this sticky moment. Good first serve down the tee. Again, Pegula have managed to find the court this time. The backhand. That one, has that found the line as well? It's not.
That was a little bit long.
Yeah,
but Sakkari got the exactly the ball that she wanted off the tee serve, because it's kind of sitting up there, shoulder height, and that's where
spinning away. Yeah.
Yeah, she can really kind of impose herself. So that's really big for both players. Actually, whenever they've served down the middle, it's always been a good play for them.
Pegula's returning much better now, though.
But this time, Sakkari goes for the typical +1. She goes for the serve out wide, backhand open court, and then really beautiful volley to finish.
And she really knew that how important that was. There was a fist pump, a bit of emotion there. She and Pegula, I think, can tell that she's on a bit of a run at the moment, and she doesn't want Sakkari to gain that momentum again.
Second serve for 30-15. Pegula winning a lot more second serve points in the last few minutes.
Okay, so good strong forehand into the court by Pegula.
Wow, that time it was Pegula who was being more proactive, and it started with that second serve return right at Sakkari's shoelaces, and
she was coming in, wasn't she? She was coming into the net, narrowing the angle, and that forced Sakkari to, pretty wild.
I do think Pegula is a lot more. Both these players are actually decent when they choose to come forward. They have good ability to close out points, and they cut the angles off pretty well. So it's nice to see a few more of those points. But second serve here at 30-all. This is a huge moment in the match.
Yep, definitely. You're not wrong.
Oh, and a nice body serve that kind of jams Pegula if she goes for the forehand cross-court return. But it's too short, and Sakkari pounces with an excellent forehand cross-court winner of her own.
Another big point. If she can hold serve here, the pressure goes back onto Pegula.
Body serve under pressure at 30-all.
And good put away in the forehand.
Jammed Pegula, and it forced her to hit a return that she's not as comfortable hitting. That's a bad.
Okay, 40-30 second serve. Sakkari serving at the moment, 6-3 in the first. And she is double faulted. And she is with the juice.
I think you're a tad bit ahead, because now it's second serve, and the first one was in line.
I might have missed that. No, you're right. It might be.
Yeah,
I thought that was.
West Stream is just West Stream is behind. But,
That was sorry, mate. That was my fault. I
yeah,
thought.
you got a fault there.
Yeah. A lot more animated now, Sakkari. They're at Juice.
Yeah, I was asking Tom, what am I doing wrong? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I'm trying to lip read. I actually can't tell. Exactly.
Can you lip read?
It's been harder because, I don't have the.
Okay, so we're at Juice. She's just moving along with first.
Second serve abuse.
This time it is a double fault.
No, it's another double fault. Can you believe that? 2 in a row.
Wow. We have.
It's such a good point at 30 all.
What a turnaround. She was 4-1. Was it 4-1 she was down? And yeah, she was.
She was 4. Right? So with Pegula serving, it looked like it was going to be a danger of that stick.
She has gone wide. Pegula has broken
that one
serve
wide as well, and that's another sign of just again just the arm just getting really really tight.
And the head has gone a little bit.
Very revealing, and it's almost like Pegula got her exactly where she wanted him. Once she held for 4-2.
Yeah. Because I'm sure, I don't know if she had forced, I would need to look back at the stats. I'm not sure if Sakkari had forced a break point, but she was certainly either deuce or
it was deuce. We didn't actually get a break point in that game.
Right. But I just remember thinking this will be a over if she can get the next couple of points.
It was 1-4 love 30. I remember that. But it was deuce, and I think there were just 2 deuces in that game, and but you did see a kind of a few more signs that if Pegula holds on and asks the question of Sakkari to serve it out twice, chances are that she'll be in at least one more of those games, and she ended up being in both of them, and it was just.
Yeah, so it looks as if Pegula, she will be serving for this second set. And once again, Sakkari struggling a little bit to see out a match when it's a semi-final. But we never know with tennis. We didn't think this was going to happen 25 minutes ago. Sakkari and bouncing out there. I think she's maybe had a word with herself. Yeah, let's see what happens as Pegula starts to serve.
Yeah. Man, it's exactly like I feel like Sakkari, if she just manages to somehow play reverse psychology and convince herself that she's down a set and a break in every single match.
Yeah.
That's when she plays her best tennis, and it's exactly the opposite when she's ahead in a big match.
Okay, looking very lively with that point.
Yeah.
Looking like she went back up and around.
Forehand still looks really good. I haven't seen too many errors when she's in the middle of the court and she gets that type of ball where she can really kind of produce that power.
Yeah.
But it's when she's on the back foot or when she's forced to go for lines that she's just pulling the trigger a bit too early. But it's also, I think it's just tightness and nerves as opposed to anything technical. Ooh, okay, she goes long on the second serve, and you have to make that if you're Sakkari. You have to get that back in play. It was a slow second serve, 75 miles per hour. It didn't have much kick on it either. It was just begging to be hit deep. But Sakkari is just panicking right now. And Pegula comes up with a timely first serve, so it's 30-15. And you just get the feeling that Pegula has all the momentum, and she's feeling really good about her chances now.
Yeah, she is points away now from wrapping up this second set and tying up the match. Sakkari was points away from making it 5-1. Here she is now, 40-15 now down, 2 set points down.
She's the one scrambling. I think she just needs to. She needs a hard reset here, where she's gotta take time and just kind of gather herself once the set is over, and really just push all those negative thoughts out of the way. Easier said than done. You have this much baggage, but let's see. The set isn't
Oh, and
it is now. Yeah.
yeah. So just to recap that, pretty amazing end to that second set. Sakkari 4-1 up, had a couple of points to make it. Well, it was a couple of points away from making it 5-1. Pegula fought back, held serve, broke in the next game, and as you can see, as now 6-4 has won the second set. So we have a decider in this semi-final. Sakkari muttering to herself, "Is there a way back from her now? Will she be able to get over these demons, these semi-final demons?" The momentum is certainly looking like it is with Pegula. A hard one to call, Vanch, but do you think this can only now be going to Pegula?
It is a tough one to call, but I do actually think this reset here, this 5 or 7 minute break, could be enough to kind of even things up enough to a point where we do get a competitive third set. It's because I do think Sakkari, when she's been firing, has been the better player in this match. It's just that, she played a couple of loose points to start off the 4-2 game, and then things just kind of spiraled from there. And I think now that they've already spiraled, she can just kind of, it might just be easier to start from scratch. And, it's kind of reminding me, I was also at another match in Indian Wells last year in 2022. It was Sakkari against Badosa. A similar thing kind of happened where Sakkari was the dominant player for the first set and a half.
Yeah.
And it looked like she was going to win it 2-4 or 2-3. And Badosa kind of really stole that second set the same way that Pegula did over here.
Yeah.
And then, there was a long kind of 7-8 minute break. And then Badosa actually was the one who felt the pressure of keeping up the momentum. And it was Sakkari who started out the stronger of the two and actually played a phenomenal third.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, the players just staying active now as the third set is going to get underway. Looks like a hot one out there in Washington. I don't know if it's off-putting all these people fanning themselves behind. But Sakkari's already out. Sorry, go on.
It's like 55% humidity, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, about 30 degrees Celsius. So fairly hot, I would say, but it's the humidity in DC that I think really is tough for the fans and even some of the players. We saw Yibing Wu, for example, really sad what happened with him. He was just kind of collapsed on the side of the court. And
Who was this? Sorry, I missed this. Who was this? Sorry, I missed that.
Wu Yibing.
Okay.
Yeah, as Pegula wins the first point here, so it's left 15.
Sakkari needs this game. Needs it. Okay. Just sorting out a couple of points. So we're at 15 all in the first game of set 3.
Did I say Wu Yibing? Yeah, Yibing Wu, I guess. Wu Yibing, in China, the Chinese players, they like to pronounce their names in reverse. Like Zhang Shuai, Luna.
As Sakkari looks to, she's done that one right. Are you at 30-15?
Let me see. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, Sakkari just hit an overhead.
Yeah.
And I'm at 30-15 now, yeah.
Yeah.
Second serve, 30-15. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, so the second serve, strong return by Pegula. It's definitely hitting the ball much better. Good deep return though, forehand by Sakkari. She managed to turn that point around there. She looked as if she was being dominated a little bit by
Good pace
Pegula.
absorption there on the forehand, and it helped that she was so deep behind the baseline that she was actually able to absorb that with a good amount of depth herself.
And she found the range and Pegula couldn't find hers. And so 40-15 now, Sakkari serving game point. Strong first serve body one. She was going to come in there or something, but she's still with it, gets a backhand right on the line, and she puts away the volley. Much better. She stops a rot, I think, of 7 games, 6.
5 games in a row.
5 games in a row, yeah. So
finding whole serve for the first time, since holding to go up 4-1. So that's that will help, and I actually do think, I mean, she needed that game, and just the fact that she's now held, I do still, I haven't changed my pick. Like, I'm still gonna go with Sakkari winning this third. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it'd be so easy for me to just like shift right after a momentum change. Like
that's okay. I like that.
I'm sticking to my guns.
Yeah, good man. Okay, so we're already underway. Strong first serve by what a dig by Sakkari. She's definitely building a little bit back up here. It was a strong first serve by Pegula, who then went down the line with a backhand, and Sakkari just swatted it away. I think I just saw Pegula going wow, which is always good when your opponent does that. Pegula finding the first serve again as the players exchange backhand by Pegula now, forehand to forehand. The players exchanging sliced backhand by Sakkari up the line by Pegula, and Sakkari can only find the net, and she again is not happy. Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. She was in that rally, didn't take advantage. It was a very neutral. So yeah. Hey, Tennis Twit, how are we doing?
Sorry, my stream, I actually missed that point.
Was your stream?
Yeah, it's just buffering. I don't know why it's not showing.
Okay, well, I'll talk you through it, but I'm at 15:30. Sakkari taking advantage of a short second serve by Pegula. I'd been saying she'd been finding the mark with her first serve, but not on this occasion. And she took advantage and drilled one down the line. Again, she's now on a second serve. I think she challenged that one. Not been too many challenges in this. No, she didn't. So we'll move on. And it's 15:40. We have 2 Sakkari break points. So yeah, just like you're saying, Vanch, you've stuck by your player, and this might be a turning point in the match again, and one that's had a few twists so far.
Yeah.
Good first serve.
Over, even if Sakkari goes up 2-love. Although Pegula finds a nice first serve there, 108 into the body. So 40-40.
Doesn't find a first serve there. That could be important. Sakkari been jumping on these second serves.
This is the first serve. Sakkari is looking to attack on the second serve. You feel that. She leans into the backhand cross. Now has an aggressive forehand, and she goes for the drop shot, which I think is not going to work out because she did not anticipate the lob, and Pegula getting there.
Yeah, really good point.
Lob too. Really good defense, and it's deuce actually. And Sakkari didn't move in and try to close the drop shot with a volley, like maybe it would have helped her out, but nonetheless, you got to credit Pegula because she actually saw. She
read the drop shot. Great wee lob, and she put it away nicely.
Credit Pegula here for these last 2 points, and now Sakkari creates another with a really big forehand, and she's been winning those type of forehand to forehand cross court exchanges throughout this whole match, just the heaviness of her forehand into that Pegula corner. Just the weight of shot is a lot stronger, I think, and that helps her out. Let's see, break point. First serve, but Sakkari gets it back in play. The point is back at neutral. Oh, and Sakkari nets an easy backhand.
Yeah, we're back to deuce. This game goes on.
Yeah, bit of a freebie there. Should have made that.
Yeah. So she needs to take advantage here, you would think. The chances that she's been afforded by Pegula.
Pegula makes the first serve. Nice strong return down the middle for Sakkari off the backhand. Backhand slice from Sakkari. Backhand cross from Pegula. Backhand cross from Maria.
Well played.
And well done, because she earns herself the exact same high ball that she can now hit an inside in forehand with because Pegula has so much ground to cover.
Yeah. Really good play. You've seen that a few times, haven't you? Especially when she was playing her best tennis of the match. It was the 3 or 4 point setup.
Accelerates through the top of the ball, 88 miles per hour. She has one of the best forehand inside ins in women's tennis, no doubt about that.
4
Again,
break point.
Very similar to Tsitsipas in that regard too. So
yeah, maybe it's a Greek thing.
Maybe.
Honestly.
Yeah, second serve, backhand cross, good return. Doesn't try to go for too much. Oh, but she misses the forehand there and
didn't take advantage of the second serve.
Looks like she kind of hesitated a little bit. She was going to be more aggressive on it, but then she just something happened and missed that swing.
Yeah.
You could tell she just hesitated and took her foot off the gas. You got to commit.
Absolutely. We have another Pegula second serve.
I think that's why she was so frustrated, because she felt like there was an opportunity there, but here's second serve. Oh, strong inside in backhand return. Sakkari where she wants to be, and she goes for the drop shot again, and this time hits it in the net. I'm not sure that's the best idea there.
Nah, Pegula was coming. Pegula would have been there. I think.
I would have liked for her to actually hit that forehand, pick down the line, and come in. I think she has a good backhand volley that she could have covered the next shot.
Yeah, but, I don't disagree.
But yeah, so that's what happens.
Both players.
This time it's Pegula who misses an easy backhand cross.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite get low enough on that one. It was reaching a little bit and pushes it long. David Witt kind of shaking her head as well. I mean, his head.
Yeah.
Deuce needs a big serve here. Misses the first one, though. Let's see what Sakkari does with the second serve return. She tries to go for it on the forehand, but she would have been better off, I think, just rolling that return in a little bit more. I think she's actually hit her backhand return better in this match than the forehand one. It's because she's been able to shorten the backhand swing, and she has good angles off that shot, and just maybe more comfortable with the compact return off that game. Wow, that's a big hold for Pegula. I gotta give her credit for 15-40 to deuce, but you have to say that Sakkari made 2 unforced errors on the other 2 breakpoints, so it's a bit of both, I would say.
Yeah, fair play. And yeah, so we are now at 1-1 in the decider. Sakkari having a chance.
That could be a big game. Yeah, I mean, again, this next service game is very key, because when you win a game, you get out of a jam like that with those deuces and 4 breakpoints saved, it immediately puts pressure back on the server. And so, yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
I could see Pegula getting an early break here if Sakkari doesn't start this game strong. Second serve, she has a good backhand there. She goes for the slice down the line, but misses it quite wide. And,
not sure if the wind played any part there. I think you said that it's pretty humid, so there was just a little
bit. That's also a really tough ball to control, especially changing directions on the slice. I don't think that's her strength. Whoa, really missed that first serve. The toss is getting harder for her as well. The wind. Pegula there, of course, missed timing.
Yep, it's 15-all.
Yeah, I think this is just a tricky moment because the wind is starting to pick up a little bit more. The breeze. It's going to be tough for both of them. I'm going to watch Sakkari's toss really carefully here. If she gets a nice angle wide, but then misses the forehand again. That's a shame because she got the serve that she wanted with the out wide. Question 30.
And she goes back to 30-all. Strong first serve. Pegula can only
Much
block
needed.
return wide.
Much needed first serve. 30-all. Strong first serve. Has the forehand, but misses another one. Oh, that's going to be so frustrating. It's a gift.
Okay, so we have a Pegula break point here.
She is raising about that miss.
Yep.
Understandably so, because that's the second one she's missed in this game after making the first serve and getting exactly the high ball that she wanted. Break point Pegula. And Sakkari just misses that first serve.
Both players having early chances in this third set.
Second serve. Feel the tension. And Pegula misses the second serve return, but I will say good kick serve from Sakkari, getting it above high above Pegula's shoulders, and that's actually a good play, and I think she can hit that serve pretty comfortably, so without too much pressure. Pegula does well to get out of the way there.
Well done.
Really nice serve +1.
Yeah, really good.
And I like how she moved forward after she finished the forehand there.
She's just had to reset a bit, hasn't she? She's just had to kind of reset, go back to what she was doing in the first, and stop getting caught up in everything that has happened.
She has been the more aggressive, more proactive player. She is more aggressive in general. She's at 25 winners to Pegula's 10. So that's her strength. Just to stick with that. And
okay, Pegula thought that was out there, but she continued playing as they continued to rally.
Pegula doing well to keep herself in this point.
Straight water.
She goes for her drop shot there, and that's a nice little change-up because I think Sakkari was expecting another deep kind of backhand-to-backhand exchange, and then Pegula
just a weird-looking shot.
It wasn't a fantastic drop shot, but
just the way she
did enough to get Sakkari off balance, and you could tell she wasn't in a good position when she got there. And
decent disguise on that. I think there was. It was good.
Good amount of slice as well, kind of drifting away. It was some good thinking. So she'll get a first serve. Forehand to forehand.
Yeah.
Sakkari going line. But Pegula didn't do enough with the backhand off the forehand down the line from Sakkari, and just a little bit too central, and it's set up right in that shoulder height strike zone. And this time it's Maria who hits a cross court backhand angle winner. Really well done. You can see how she kind of leaned in it and flattened it out. She has a much flatter backhand than most of the top players. They all hit pretty flat, but Sakkari is so capable of flattening it out from her shoulder height.
Because, as the game continues, Neither player seeming to want to win this game.
She goes for way too much on that forehand. She was pushed back though a little bit, way behind the baseline. So credit to Pegula there. And we're at deuce. This is a real war, this service game.
Yeah. Wild first serve there a little bit. You know, she was probably going for the wide and the +1 as you alluded to earlier.
Yeah. Second serve here at deuce. Good kick serve.
Now.
Sakkari doing well to hang around Pegula.
Yeah, good point.
That time it's not really going to cut it because that was poorly executed, that drop shot.
Yep, really good.
But good footwork from Sakkari to get up there, recognize it quickly, and then punish it.
Okay, so we have Sakkari with game point. I'm sure, as it said. Yeah, game point Sakkari. It's been 2 long games in a row. Both players having break points on the other serve. Can Sakkari see it out? That looked long, but it doesn't matter because Pegula goes into the net and Sakkari holds serve.
Sakkari holds on. Good mental effort because she had to save a break point as well. And she had to deal with the adversity of not getting the break in the previous service game. So, or previous return game rather. And so far we have
fair play. Fair play, Sakkari. You know, she could have let what happened to her in the second set allow her to kind of fold here, but she's holding her own. She's doing well, and now the pressure goes back to Pegula.
I like this rivalry actually because it feels like both players have to do. They both have these demons that they have to kind of get over in terms of rounds or just, you know, for Pegula it's the quarterfinals and a major thing like 0-6. For Sakkari it's her semifinal record, but more than that it's just like how they match up against each other. You just never know how these matches are going to play out. Like I said, like every single time they played since 2019, it's like Sakkari gets one, then Pegula gets the next one. Sakkari gets one, then Pegula gets the next one. And it's like they just keep playing, and they keep playing on hard courts as well, which is like a neutral surface for both of them, and it's just. These matches are just kind of mental, and they both know each other's games so well. I'm sure they practice a ton. I'm sure they play each other in juniors. I'm sure they're playing, this is their, 8th meeting? Like, at some point, there's just no secrets anymore. And I think, talk about rivalries on the WTA, actually, Sakkari had a good rivalry with Kontaveit as well. Kontaveit, of course, is recently retiring. But I think Sakkari has gotten herself in these positions many times. To where she's actually playing a lot of players over and over again. And Pegula is one of them. So it's kind of an interesting psychological battle.
I think Sakkari won the first 2 ever meetings on the actual tour, and then it was, like you say, it was then one, then the other. I think something like that.
Yeah, and most of them have come since 2021 Miami. So really, like, both of the players have been at their best since then. In terms of career high ranking and achievements. So.
In terms of the Pegula service game, 2 strong serves have forced Sakkari later in the rally to hit the net where she was being dominated.
See, a graphic from Tennis Channel here. Unforced errors, 27 for the match for Sakkari, but only 7 in the first set. As we saw, that was a phenomenal first set from her.
Yeah.
And now 20 in sets 2 and 3, but Pegula here at 40 love.
Really strong service game.
Really good service game. That'll alleviate a lot of the pressure.
And that's the problem because now the pressure, 3 minutes ago that lasted. So now the pressure goes straight back to the Greek. And and that's something that would be a struggle for somebody who sometimes in these situations hasn't had the strongest mentality.
Something's got to give in this match. I just hope for a lot of drama. I hope this goes down to a 3rd set tiebreak.
Right, seriously. Okay. Yeah.
I want this 3rd set to be an absolute.
We could be here for a while yet. Meanwhile, I think they're having some sort of chat regarding Pegula on the actual comments section, and yeah, it's quite interesting to read. Is Ghost involved as usual?
I don't think it's fair to say Ghosty is not a fan of Pegula.
Yeah. So, but back to the tennis. Sakkari up a point, 15 love. Now serving. She puts that one into the net. Definitely a lot closer this match now than it was for a set and a half. You could go either way here. Pegula gets a good hand on that second serve. It was a strong second serve, to be fair to Sakkari. She tries another drop shot. Again, wrong foots her opponent, Pegula, and looking more and more confident with every point. That was really nice.
Yeah. It was a really nice drop shot. Good time to play it. Sakkari was expecting something different there. And
you can see in the replay, she set that up with the first one that was a lot of spin on it, which was forcing Sakkari to put more spin on it just to get it back.
Good variety, and that's always a great play against Maria. Get her out of that baseline with them. Although this time, Pegula does well to anticipate the behind forehand and makes Sakkari hit a low volley there. Sakkari didn't quite time the split step right. And yeah, I think
so
whenever it comes down to the touch and the feel and the kind of cat and mouse points, that's where I think Pegula has the edge.
Yeah, 15-30 now. And Sakkari gets a first serve.
Time they first serve.
First serve just when she needed it most.
A little frustrated though, because I feel like she read that and she had a good look. Didn't get the return back in play.
Yep. And we're at 30 all.
It's a really tough one to call.
Yeah, it's there's barely anything between the two players now at this moment.
Another big serve. Is that an ace?
Getting an ace.
It was an ace.
Yeah, it was an ace. Yeah. And she has game point again to go 3-2 in front.
It's Tom Hill punches his fist in the air. Tom Hill, by the way, has been our longtime coach of Sakkari for the last 5 years. And that's quite rare on the WTA. I think even on the ATP to have a coach that long.
Yeah.
So they clearly trust the work that they've been doing. And that's
game point, second serve, Sakkari. Oh, no. Again, I've missed a serve there. There must have been a let or something, but now we're on second serve this occasion. Second serve just gets herself over the net. And Pegula, a lot of errors coming for Pegula now. I've noticed a little bit more finding the net.
Yeah, it looked like she wanted to come forward and just kind of take that ball on and try to get to the net, but she missed that one. So Sakkari gets the hold.
Yeah, so we are 2-3 Pegula to serve into the third set.
Both players have done well to avoid the break. I'll be honest. I thought we'd have a break of serve by now. So it's a good effort from both of them, and that's what you want to see. Kind of early stages of the third, you want to see the quality from both be. I mean, the quality in the first set was just ridiculously high from Sakkari.
Yeah,
Pegula just wasn't really in the set, to be honest. But now it seems like. Yeah, it's become a lot more even. And I'd like them to show the probability thing again, because back at 1-4 deuce, it was 96-4 in favor of Maria, and I think now it's got to be like 50-50.
That's the thing, yeah. I remember you reading that out and saying, there's a 96% win probability. From
I don't know what's going on with the Mark Philippoussis thing. That is something I want to know, because Philippoussis was working with Sakkari, but on a trial basis for a couple of months, and so something must have happened there. That because now Philippoussis is back with Tsitsipas, and he's going to be with Tsitsipas in Los. He's with Tsitsipas in Los Cabos in Canada and in Cincinnati.
Right,
and then I think Tsitsipas's dad will join the team at the U.S. Open.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
So
see that one tonight or through the night? Los Cabos sits past the favourite against
yeah,
Dimina.
Tsitsipas has to be the favorite. He's 9-0 against de Minaur. He loves that matchup.
Yeah.
And he's just been playing really well. This tournament, the tricky match was against Jari, where he was down 6-7, 5-6, and in a first set tiebreak that he was up 6-3. But that was the tricky match because obviously big server, big baseliner, and it was when I saw the draw, I saw Jari and Chorich. I was like, oh, that's a tough draw actually. But he's done well to problem solve against Chorich, and yesterday was very one sided, and I just think he looks good now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get his 10th title.
Pegula surely should have put Sakkari away there and does this time with a smash to put it 30 love up. She was in charge of that one. The telling thing is, if she has another comfortable service game, much like the previous one, does that then, make it a lot harder for Sakkari to have hope? Does she diminish, or does she just trust, I'll win my service games? Because it seems to be that the more pressure is going to be on the Sakkari service game right now.
Yeah, I think any opportunity for a break, even if they do let it slip, I think still because even if you're up 4-2 and you lose your serve, for instance, and it's 3-4, at least you have that one cushion. Whereas it's the dam just has to break for either one of them. So.
Well, 30 all now, actually, as opposed to when she was 30 love up. So maybe Sakkari can actually sniff out a chance here and, get ourselves a nose in front.
30 all, so big moment, and that ball does not drift over, so it's a second serve.
Yeah. What
Sakkari goes down the line on that one. I think Pegula was expecting the cross court.
Yeah,
so
that was
her. And I was too, so that's a really good change up.
That was one of her shots of the match. For me, that was one of her hits.
And that's where I thought Sakkari would hit that shot instead of the drop shot. And then maybe she would have been already up a break. But nonetheless, she does it here, and wow, she gets another nice return. Doing well to block it off.
She's dominating the rally here, and she goes down.
Dominating with the forehand, and 2 massive forehands to get the break from 30 all. That's really well done.
Wow. Really good, and that came from nowhere, really. And she just needs to build on that now. She's 4-2 in front.
She is pumped, and she should be, because those last 2 points, that's vintage Maria right there.
Okay,
and we're again at the same spot that we were at in the second set with 4-2.
I was just about to say that, Vanch. I was saying, hold on, remember we were here previous.
Yeah, we were just here.
So new balls, I think they're playing with. Sakkari looking to build on the break that she got. Wild first serve there. And I mean wild for anyone not watching, as in completely and utterly not in the service box.
Yeah. Oh, but again, does well to get it into the body, and Pegula has kind of an awkward return off the backhand.
And she steps in, puts it away, 15 love.
One area of Pegula's game where I feel like she's just very stubborn is she doesn't like to move back behind the baseline.
Right.
And I understand it, because she likes to take the ball early. She likes to play flat. She likes to kind of hug the baseline. But sometimes it would help her on some of these, when you're playing players who hit the ball heavier than you, I think it would kind of help her to maybe take a step back, get a little bit more air under the shot, and then kind of step in behind the baseline. If she adds that dimension to her game, I feel like that could be something that might help her win some more of these points on the defense.
Okay, top spin, body serve. Good strike there, though, by Pegula.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really good strike. And she does really well when she's on top of the baseline like that. And
I think that's what you're talking about, though, isn't it? Like taking it early.
Yeah. But to get to that point, you got to be able to, withstand some of that heaviness. And I think that could help her, certainly, especially on a clay court. A deeper return position, a deeper kind of court position. And I know sometimes it comes kind of counterintuitive, because you're like, wait a minute, you want her to play more passive? But no, I just mean just to give herself another kind of plan B.
Again, aggressiveness this time from Sakkari. Again, stepping in a little bit into the court allows her the ability to push Pegula back behind the baseline, forcing her then wide. And we have 30-15 for Maria Sakkari.
30-15.
Okay, so first serve in. Players exchanging backhands now, hitting them both well. Pegula changes it
Strong
up now.
backhands and
we have neutral in terms of both players in the middle of the court. Sakkari goes, she's dictating it now though, although she's misjudged that one and she's went long. We are now at a similar situation.
I thought she was going to come forward on that.
I think she dithered.
Yeah, she passed the opportunity to, I think. And the point just kind of reset. Good defense from Pegula. Well played point from both of them, but I think Sakkari would have liked to.
Oh, that's so hard.
She was on the ascendancy. I thought, coming in would have been smart there, maybe. But
okay, wild first serve, as an out of the court, not even within the doubles lines.
Yeah, miles off. Second serve. I think it was a huge movement.
Did that clip the top of the net, I think. So we have a second serve let.
Could we see another momentum from after that 30-15 point?
Yeah.
4-2, 30-15. I will have that circled. Second serve. And Pegula connects in every time. But again, going down the middle line. These are the kind of rallies that I think Pegula really likes because she wants to take away the corners. And she wants to hit this. She wants to play hard and flat and deep down the middle. That's where I think she can get the kind of balls that she wants and play on her terms. And she did that there.
Okay, break point, Pegula.
This will be really key.
Big point here.
So I think this is the.
She can save this.
He's going to the Pegula forehand. Let's see what she does on the second serve. Does she go for the kick?
Serve. Yeah, out wide.
Yes, she went for the kick, and that is her bread and butter. Now, what does she do with this forehand? It's going to be an inside in. Pegula reads it. Good. Now she has a backhand. Oh, she doesn't actually do that much with it.
No.
But it was just enough to set the. Oh my goodness.
Strange point.
That was a classic Sakkari point right there.
Yeah.
It was a setup by that kick serve on the second serve.
Yeah, and it hugged the line, that kick serve. Yeah. Just dropped
really
in.
Good play. Because she gave herself so much margin. I mean, I thought she was going to botch that one, especially after she didn't put away. There were a couple of shots earlier in the round that she didn't put away, but coming in with it. Yes.
Okay, second serve again. I think that one just went a little bit long. It's not a let. So I believe it's second serve Sakkari, deuce, 4-2, break up. Looks like Pegula just caught the line there with that forehand to forehand. Now this time Sakkari finds it deep, goes slice backhand, picked up by Pegula, who goes right into the corner. Managed somehow Sakkari gets it back. She's back in control of this rally. Oh my word! Well played, Sakkari. What a point!
Yeah, you gotta stand up. That was awesome, right there. That was well done.
Even the fans who will be supporting Pegula applaud Sakkari.
No, phenomenal defense, especially in the forehand corner. Look at the squash shot. That's ridiculous. And then goes for the backhand cross, and then man, how much distance did she cover in that point? She covered 61 yards to Pegula's 49. Yeah, Pegula that was really, really well played. And you see Pegula as well applauding. That was too good. Point of the match.
She knows that she hit that. She knows her backhand was a good backhand.
Yeah.
And that might just be the point that she'll look back on and sees the point as one of the match.
Yeah. She's got to win this point and consolidate the break. But yes, it was really well done.
Oh, it's more like a lob shot up the line. And what a forehand down the line at the other
Oh,
corner.
and she goes for the Zuka on the run.
Yeah,
Just like
lovely
one of the
stuff.
ones that she hit in the first set. This is the kind of level when she's redlining that she had in the first set, where it's just too good for Pegula.
Really good by Sakkari. Not much Pegula
Yeah.
could done there. You know, she's actually playing pretty good tennis, but Sakkari's just playing that little bit better.
You could pick some things in the first set that Pegula wasn't doing so well, but as far as the third set, she's actually played. The thing is that when Pegula comes up against these kind of players that just redline and they go on a streak of 4 or 5 games like this is what happened to her against Vondrousova in that Wimbledon quarterfinal as well.
Yeah.
Where she had one break point to go up 5-1, she misses a backhand, and from then on, Vondrousova plays lights out the next 5 games, and it's just when Pegula plays a player like that, she can't really match that ceiling. So that's where, it's a little bit of a like Andrei Rublev on the men's side.
Yeah.
He's kind of raised his ceiling a little bit with the Masters 1000 win, and they get compared a lot because of their quarterfinal record and.
But for you, Vance, for both Pegula and Rublev, you can't see them going to that next stage and claiming a Grand Slam.
Well, I do think a semi-final is very much possible. I think Pegula is closer than Rublev is for sure because of the she was 1 point away basically if she converts her 5-1. Then it's a whole different tournament because then now she's playing Svitolina and then then it's possible she might have even won Wimbledon. So whereas on the men's side, I just feel like because of how strong the tier 1 is, with Djokovic and Alcaraz, and I think if Rublev can avoid those. Like Rublev kind of needs to avoid a certain subset of players in order to get there.
Yeah,
but I do think both guys will probably have a semi eventually.
Okay, Sakkari now momentum fully in her side of the court.
She would like to break it and finish this off now because she doesn't want to be thinking
about it. Yeah,
about it at 5-3 when she's serving. So
she's love 15 on the Pegula serve. Pegula now loading up a second serve. Didn't look like the best strike there of the serve, and it allows Sakkari to dominate the point. Some really, really strong ground strokes, and as she caught the line, she knows she has. She has love 30. Again, really, really good tennis by Sakkari. And like you say,
the court up with the heavy forehand, and then
echoes of set 1 here. We're back on strike again just before that replay. Both players sliced backhanding it. Good, strong backhand by Pegula. She sends her opponent the wrong way this time with a forehand. Sakkari going back across court, and we're at 15-30.
Yeah. Pegula, by the way, up to number 3 in the world. So regardless of what happens today.
Yep. Sakkari still 9 in the world.
Sakkari leans in and goes backhand line for a winner. And now she's thinking, I got to close this right now because I'm hot.
This is the moment.
And she's really feeling it.
I think a lot of people on here.
I think she won't be able to sleep at night if she loses this match. Seriously.
Closing it out now. 2 match points.
So let's see. Deuce. Second serve. 15-40. Aggressive second serve return off the forehand. Was for the forehand approach, but Pegula doesn't come forward. Point resets there in the backhand exchange. Backhand cross. Backhand inside out winner and match point. And wow, the last
done.
The entire third set really.
Well done.
Bravo. Like that's
the players embrace at the net. Sakkari wins that one 6-2, 2 breaks to close it out. And it's just really impressive, isn't it? Getting rid of those demons there. A lot of people against American in America could have been thinking, this is with Pegula, but that was really, really good tennis. She found her mojo again from the first set. Really impressive stuff by Sakkari. And good luck to her. Well done.
Really, really well done. And she's into her 8th final, I believe. And maybe this is her moment. Maybe it really is, because
impressive stuff there.
She's playing the winner of Samsonova and Goff next, and
that'll be another good one. But listen, Vance, it's been a good evening watching this tennis with you. You've caught me up with everything that's been going on in and around the WTA and ATP over the last week. And I'll be watching next. Going to go and get myself some food. What are you up to now, Vance?
I'm going to take a lunch break as well. It's about 1:30 p.m. I'm kind of hungry, so I'll just
Well, dinner for me, dinner time for me.
The second semi as well. Won't be commentating, but this was fun. This is a good rivalry. They keep one-upping each other, as we were saying, and I look forward to the next time they play.
Yeah, and thanks, guys. I mean, Ghost, Gene, thanks for sticking with us, keeping the tennis chat going as we kind of talked you through that one. Do appreciate it. And so, we're going to sign off now. So thanks very much to everyone here. So see you soon.
See ya.